This is Michaela McLean, and you're listening to Beauty by Design. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. We are going to talk about our next gate, 31, which is all about leadership and really relevant to today. Today kicked off the esthetician revolution. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, especially if you're an esthetician, please get over to Instagram, check out my friends, Ageless Ashley, Agent RX, Danielle Stead, and Morgan Rackley, Luminous Skin Atlanta. You're gonna get clued in, caught up on the cause. There was a mass post that has gone out this morning. You can check out my page. Basically, people are over unethical business practices with these very, very large skincare companies. There's a number of things going on there, but point being, it's like I'm like, the old way of doing business is done. People are realizing that this is just not going to support all of us going forward. And I really see the parallels, from this to the Screen Actors Guild to like many other industries realizing like, we're stronger together in numbers, uniting against things that are kind of bringing all of us down. So if you want to get up to date on that, and I would suggest it, again, if you're an esthetician, get over there, sign the change.org petition to basically raise the standards and create a healthier environment in our own industry for everyone. Go do that. Go do that right now. And then, like I said, this energy that we're moving into is really supportive of the cause at the moment, which is really beautiful. So anyway, before we get into everything, I have been teasing, I have this Venus retrograde drop, and then the revolution came. And so I'm pushing it back to next week. I'm going to tinker with a few more things, but basically we're going to have energetic beauty sleep for all of the types and authorities. So if human design is confusing to you, or you just want to really live and embody and just have all of this sink into your skin cells even deeper, deep past the skin cells, all the way inside, and really start living your design. This is what these energetic beauty sleep yoga nidras are for. So I myself, I'm a sacral generator. That's the one that I would listen to. And it's going to help. Basically, it's bypasses the conscious mind, gets into the subconscious, and helps you live according to your strategy, tapping into your authority, trusting that the more that you listen to it, the better. Number one, yoga nidra on its own is so beneficial in a anti-aging and a beautifying way. There, I have a whole episode on that. And it's scientifically backed. So that's one aspect. And then obviously the second piece is that we're subconsciously like, planting positive seeds to live your design with zero effort. I'm like, I've been planning this for so long. This is just, I don't want to be like, it's genius, but it is, it's my own thing. I can't say that, but it's so cool. And for me, Venus retrograde in Leo is really potent. I have not just Leo moon, but I have Leo north node in the 12th house, the house of the subconscious. Like this is the dreamscape, all of this. So it's something I've been sitting on and thinking about and, creating for so long. I'm so excited to share it with everyone. So next week, when we move into the next energy, that is my north node. That's my dharma. That's my purpose. That's what I'm meant to be living and moving toward. And it's the counterpart to that. My south node is the sensitivity of knowing what people need before they need it. So moving into the space of retreat and restoration and knowing what everyone needs, I'm like, all right, we're rolling with it. So anyway, stay tuned for that. That is absolutely coming in the very near future. And then other things, of course, my Aesthetic Next giveaway, 5.0, win a ticket, $975 value, and if you can't come in person, because that also is a flight and a hotel and all that stuff, or you just can't make it for whatever reason, you can still attend virtually. So make sure that you enter. All you have to do to enter is follow myself and Aesthetic Record on Instagram. There's a post for this, all the instructions are there. So follow myself, follow Aesthetic Record, and then leave this podcast, Beauty by Design, a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast. In your review, drop your Instagram handle in there, and that's it. You're entered to win. That is an amazing prize. And if you've never been, so worth going, so worth winning a free ticket to go, number one. But number two, like, it's just, it's the place to be. It's such an incredible experience. So I'll be lecturing in the esthetician track on energetic aesthetics, basically bringing other modalities into your treatment room, again, in a very seamless way. And then I will be teaching a hands-on workshop. So if that interests you, you would like to get a certificate in your Reiki 1, I'll be doing that again through my lens, which is very different than the traditional, what other people know as like Reiki. This is incorporating through the lens of human design and all of my other kind of like, you know, what I'm stirring up in the background, which is amazing. And my good friend, Josh Davis, aka Talks Josh, will be assisting me bringing that to life. So that is a separate, like I said, workshop there. If you want to sign up, go do that. Space is very limited. And if you are like, yep, all right, I want to go and I'm going to buy my ticket to Aesthetic next, I didn't win, go enter, right? But if you don't win, you can use my last name, McLean, MACLEAN 550, McLean 50, and you will get a discount off of your ticket to attend Aesthetic next. All right. And then, of course, all the other things coming. I've got some really exciting stuff, and I'm still like on that, like, it's just too early to say, but coming in a couple weeks. So between now and Aesthetic next, some just very exciting things that I think it's gonna, open up a whole new world for me. But we've got Nidra's coming, Golden Experience Guide, my course, Solo Esthetician Love membership, more Little Fox products coming very soon. Of course, go get my free guide if you don't have it yet. It's going to take you to the right master class, and then once Nidra's come out, the right Nidra as well for you. And yeah, I feel like let's just get moving. Let's get into the energy of this. The links, of course, can be found in the show notes or over in my Instagram bio at Michaela McLean. Okay, so disclaimer. Don't try to understand this at the mental level, just like the nidras that are coming. You just get to like listen, absorb the sound current, let the energy and frequency of beauty sink deep into your cells like good skincare. Okay, so we are in Leo season, completely officially. Human Design Gate 31. This is located in the throat center, and it's part of the collective logic or understanding circuitry. And that's the more yang, cool-headed, planning, future focus side of the chart. This is a side that loves repeatable patterns, like math and science. It wants to be able to experiment and be able to prove said patterns. So it's the logical left brain, all about refinement and alignment on this side of the collective versus the mirror image of it on the other side, the abstract, the creative experiential flow, the sensing side, the more yin side of the chart. So with either one of those, anything that's in the collective circuitry, the keynote is sharing. So very important, whatever you're learning, whatever you're doing in this circuitry, that you are then sharing it with the collective. So the center itself, it's the throat. The throat is the energy center for communication, self-expression, manifestation. All energy in the chart is always trying to make it to the throat to have something done about it. And gate 31 is known as influence. It's the gate of influence. And the keynote here is I lead or not, the influential elected leader. And this, like all the throat gates, have a voice. This is I lead. So this gate is about being extremely influential, but without trying. And it's not a person that sets out to be like, I'm going to influence others, that's not at all what this is about. Or I'm going to be the leader, it's just not about that. And I think we're starting to see that. It's like, we want people who, really have like principles and values and a reason that they are influential. They have something to get behind. That's the whole point of this. This gate, and therefore this channel, it's called the design of leadership for good or bad. So it's like, how do I sway people? Am I an influencer? That I have influence and I'm just going to persuade people to buy all kinds of stuff. I know people like that in real life. No, thank you. And then there's people who are like, yeah, I have influence and I'm going to use it to positively affect change, which is really, again, relevant to right now. So, it's like, am I going to use my influence to push my personal agenda, something that I benefit off of, or what is best for the whole, what's best for the collective? People with doing the low expression of this, it's like they're in love with themselves, the sound of their own voice, and talking for the sake of it. And you know what I mean? Like being able to do something and like see, oh, well, they bought this or they did that because I was doing it first. Again, I know people like this in real life. Um, yeah. Anyway, they're not people that I'm friends with. I just know some. So 31 is the gate of it's excuse me, the voice of influence, right? The figurehead, the mouthpiece. It's very important that this person is elected by the majority to lead the collective into the future based on the will of the majority. Otherwise, it's not getting off the ground. This is a projected gate, as we will get to. And it's like somebody with this energy needs to be elected. They need to be chosen. They need to be invited to step in this position of basically, influence, guiding, directing others. And like I said, it's projected. So, you're sharing your vision for the future, and it's up to everybody else to latch on and actually do something with the guidance you've given them. You cannot do it for them. You cannot force them to follow you. It's really meant to be of service to the whole. It's like, hey, okay, I will I will guide you. I'm willing to take on that role, but I'm doing it from a place of truly being of service and doing something that is, for the greater good. So in the gene keys, the shadow of this one is arrogance, the gift is leadership, and the city is humility. And the Gene Key states that the gift of leadership is really a gift of influence rather than an inherent predisposition to be a leader per se. The real leaders in the 64 gift matrix are people with a strong activation of the seventh gift of guidance at the genetic level. Ooh, that's interesting because I have gate 7. Anyway, the 31st gift is known as the gift of leadership because, excuse me, only because that is the projection of the collective upon this gene key. Deep inside such a person, there is little or no inclination to be a leader, and even less identification with feeling like a leader. It is, however, this very reluctance that sets such people up as leaders. The mass consciousness, as we have seen, is programmed to be led, but has no idea of how to pick a leader. Well, isn't that the truth? Most of the time, the mass consciousness will choose leaders not for their policies or beliefs, but for their style. The 31st gift knows all about trends and patterns because it has an inherent understanding of the mastery of language. These people therefore understand the openness of the collective and its need to be influenced and led. The difference between the 31st gift and the 31st shadow is that the 31st gift does not believe its own propaganda. The gift is no longer caught up in the fear of what others think, and if you want to influence people in a certain direction, this is a distinct advantage. The modern day term for this is the spin doctor. The spin doctor spins the truth whichever way happens to suit one's audience. At the shadow frequency, this is all rooted in getting more personal recognition and or more control of wealth. At the gift level, at the higher frequency, has already moved the person beyond the tight codependent dynamic of the leader and the led, or the shepherd and the sheep. At this level, you still play the game, but for a different purpose. Now, your primary influence is to help others break out of the very same matrix in which you yourself were once caught. Certain human beings operating out of the 31st gift can literally become the voice of the collective. At the shadow frequency, they become the voice of our fear, whereas at the gift level, they become the voice of our creativity as well as the messengers of our future evolution. The secret to the 31st gift is the secret of branding. These are people who inherently know that the medium they use, whether it be music, art, science, literature, or simply the naked human voice, is really only the means of expressing a transmission that lies beyond words. The art itself carries a frequency encoded within it, but the frequency lies well beyond the words, colors, or tones themselves. In other words, all human expression is really nothing but branding. If you release the right brand at the right time in history, you will have a huge influence. This is why the 31st gift is founded upon the rock of anticipation. It always has to sense what is coming into the world next. And to do this, it has to be free from the old conditioning. It truly is the heart that separates the shadow frequencies from the gift frequencies. And in our current stage of evolution, the heart is really the hottest frequency there is. If you really want to see the nature of success on the material plane, then the heart represents the cutting edge today. From the level of the heart, success is now reaching a new definition. Life is no longer about individual success, but success as a collective organism. This is the direction in which evolution is currently taking us. So, my notes here, as I've already mentioned, this is part of a projected channel. So, projector rules apply, seen, recognized, and invited to lead others. You can't just pop in and declare your leadership. A person with this energy must be invited and elected to hold that position. And furthermore, if you are a 31st gate key person, it's like, is this an invitation to leadership that I actually want? That's always important. It's like, just because you want me to be your leader doesn't mean that I absolutely have to be. Okay, so the programming partner here, meaning Sun is in 31, the Earth is automatically opposite in Aquarius gate 41, and 41 is known as decrease the gate of contraction. This is the pressure to feel, the desire for a new experience. So this is all about imagination and fantasy. It is the start codon, and it's the beginning of the human design new year. So everything, always begins from the seed in someone's imagination. So 41, obviously with low expression, it's like somebody's stuck in fantasy land, and it gets very disappointed because their fantasies don't get fulfilled per se. But of course, the high expression, the one we want to be living in is, turning dreams and visions into reality, and being able to have very limited resources, that contraction, starting from scratch, and just being able to create and pull things out of out of nowhere, and it's really cool because again, it's like it's kind of this gate of like infinite possibilities. So the gate that completes the channel is Leo gate 7, forming the channel of the alpha. And gate 7 is the army. It's the role of the self in interaction. The keynote with this one is direction or directing by looking forward. It's leading by influence. This is one of the gates of direction in the G center. There's the love gates and then there's the direction gates. Like I said, this is a Leo gate as well. So it will be coming up here in the very near future. We'll get very deep into this one. But seven is the leader that's logically focused on the future. It sees and knows where we're meant to be going and is able to direct and guide people accordingly. Basically 7 is like a catalyst for change. They reorient society, because this is collective, to basically a new direction. And these are people that have the vision or the map. They know where everyone is supposed to be going. They always say it's the power behind the throne. This is the brains of the operation. If 31 in this case, as our channel partner, it's like that's the president, that's the mouthpiece. 7 is the one that's like, okay, but this is what we're really, this is what we're really doing here. It's their chief of staff, that's calling the shots and strategizing, behind the scenes. So 31 on its own, is like that is a potential just to be like hot air. It's like it needs the substance behind it. It needs the goods to back it up. So 7 is the G center, which is our center for love, identity, and direction. That's what 7 is providing, connecting to the throat to communicate clearly the direction and the guidance for the collective that everybody needs to hear. And again, since this is part of logic circuitry, this is about recognizing patterns, like what has not worked in the past, and then seeing, knowing, orienting everyone the collective to move forward to a better future and then guiding them there. So I was like, again, esthetician revolution, anyone? Very relevant. Important thing here is like, staying humble and in touch with the collective, what the needs are of the group, you know. So another little note too to this, it's like this does not have to be formal leadership, just being a leader, like in your life, a master or a visionary in your area of expertise, and then earning the trust of the people around you. And this is because it's a projected energy, it's not about doing for others as much as guiding them in the right direction. And a lot of time, leadership itself is just living as, like I said, living as a leader, being the embodiment of that yourself, and then just allowing people to witness that. Astrology notes here. This is double Leo. So we've got this energy of a natural, or just a natural heart-centered leadership with both of these gates, this entire channel, the alpha. I'm like, is that any surprise that the lion is the alpha? 31, it's like there's the roar, it's like leading the pride, using its voice, and 7 provides that quiet inner strength, that very heart-centered leadership piece. And again, if you have the whole channel, it means you've got some sort of like, potential conjunction in Leo in your chart. This is happening in the second quarter of the wheel, spirit transformed into form. And my little esthetician connection here, I laugh because I'm like, oh yeah, well, currently, wow, how this is relevant. It's like I have the 7, which we will talk about, like I said, in the near future. And Agent RX, Josh, he has the gate 31. Together we form the channel of the alpha. And he was, posting the other day of like, I was talking to Michaela and, we were talking about Venus retrograde and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and how all of this, how I saw it like impacting and affecting estheticians and what is happening right now. And it's like, well, I'm not necessarily the one that people are listening to or can articulate it best, but he can take that and then be like, okay, here's, you know what I mean? Here's how it's impacting everyone. And together, this is where electromagnetics in the chart come together, or, like make so much sense. And what I mean by that is like, I have one half, he has the other. Together, you form a superpower. And so, when we're bringing our best selves and the best expression of each one of our gates to whatever relationship, any table that you're coming to, you're going to be able to link up and be more powerful with other people. So it's pretty cool. And, and then regarding like the patterns that this likes to recognize, again, what has not worked in the past. There's very specific brands that we are, talking about that, do all of these things. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like, you see, hey, they promised you this, they changed the game going forward. It no longer supports the esthetician small business. And it's just not right. So there's what hasn't been working. And people need to be led, this industry needs to be led away from that, by people who do see and recognize the patterns and actually, know what would be more beneficial. But it only works if everybody wants to get behind that, which is happening. So anywho, one of the things I would say with this to really marinate on, as far as like the esthetician connection here, is marinating on your own personal power. What makes you feel like a powerful leader? Because everybody's the leader of their own lives, whether you have these gates or not, whether you're on the front lines of a movement or not, you are your own leader. And where do you feel power? Like, where does your personal power come from? And really being like, yeah, everybody has their own ability to be powerful in their life. And sometimes it is just doing something like that, signing your name on a petition, putting a post up, just contributing your little drop in the bucket that overall is going to create change and be very powerful when it's all pulled together. So I just, again, if you're an esthetician, I encourage you to do that, even if you're not impacted directly. I'm not, but that doesn't mean that everybody in my industry, my friends, my colleagues, this community is definitely being impacted by all of this. So therefore, I am impacted. And I think we have to stand up for just people in general. Brian and I uh, recorded August transits, and we talk about this at length with the astrology. And so, again, it's just very interesting how it's all playing out. But anyway, that episode will be available very soon as well. Okay. So remember, estheticians, go follow me over on Instagram at Michaela McLean because I post my weekly update, how to bring this energy into your treatment room and use it accordingly, that it's the most beneficial and helpful to you. So do you have this gate in your chart? If it's defined, you're looking at the throat center, the upper left side, 31. It's going to be black, red, or red and black. That means you have it somewhere. If you don't, I don't. It's going to be white. But look to the other side. My other side is colored in. My 7 is colored in. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to get the benefit of having this full channel active for approximately 6 days. So you may be getting that. You're getting the channel of the alpha. That's cool. And then, of course, just observing what's going on around you and in other people, and also how we can just utilize and harness this energy, whether we have any of it or not. We're still experiencing it. Okay. I will be back soon with more. If this episode was of value to you and you want to enter the Aesthetic Next giveaway, please make sure to go follow myself, Aesthetic Record, on Instagram, and then drop that 5-star rating and review with your Instagram handle on Apple Podcast. Um, Time is winding down, so hurry up and get your entry in as soon as possible. And of course, if you want to learn more human design, all kinds of ways to work with me, from the free guide, $11 class, my course and golden experience. We're like membership and solo esthetician love. My workshop at Aesthetic Next. More trainings are coming from me soon. Like I said, I've got some cool stuff in the works. Still can't quite talk about, but just lots and lots of cool things happening, and I'm very excited. And again, I come from the aesthetics industry. This is why I'm passionate about this. It's like I've been an esthetician for 20 years, and even though my role in all of this has changed, I'm still here to support my fellow aesthetic providers. Like we have to take care of each other. So that's how we're going to do it. And also I am an esthetician, so reciprocal, like support me and supporting you all. Like it's so appreciated. Of course, you can grab that free guide. That's the place to start regardless. And of course, until next time, have a beautiful day.